first comments after the Carolina game here on Shan and RJ, and it's brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. We also have our Cowboys insider, Bobby Roberto Belt, and a birthday for the Hall of Fame owner and general manager joining us on 105.3 The Fan. Good morning, Jerry, and happy birthday.
Hey, well, thank you very much, guys. And first of all, I would have liked to have celebrated that birthday with a big winning candle on the top of some kind of cake, but still, that's the way it goes. That's probably the first birthday that I've ever had that I wasn't celebrating a victory of some sort. And if you believe that, then we're really all in trouble. So when you've had as many as I've had, then you've got to be ready to do some celebrating when it's not exactly going the way you'd like it planned. On the other hand, what birthdays do, it really has caused you to really step back and take a look at the whole picture and count your blessings and just be proud to be in the hunt, be proud to be competing. I'm all of the above. It's a privilege to be here and face the music with you guys this morning.
Well, thank you for doing it, as always. Some media alarms were set off when you did not speak after the game. Could you just address that and also give us your first public comments on the Panther loss?
That Carolina setup over there is a long, long way from the area you sit in. And that was as much of it as anything. Secondly, yes, there was a frustration because we had such a good chance to win that game at the end and thought it could go our way after basically holding the lead, yet physically getting pushed around a little bit out there. All of that probably didn't make me just be all that urgent to get over there and visit with everybody. And I've done that from time to time. This isn't the first one of those, especially those road games.
Jerry, I know that I heard you on Friday with the guys talk about the league being designed for parity. We saw 2 upsets last night. But still, when we go up and down the schedule, right, part of the fun of being an NFL fan, we're like, that's a win, that's a win. Were you extra disappointed in that Carolina loss with you guys being favored and just looking at the other games on your schedule? Is that one that stings extra because of what people thought was going to happen?
Yes, very much. I'm just like you. I go up and down that schedule as well. The reality of it, though, and I don't think it's unique to me either, is I realize how much parity we've got. And the real thing about it is on any of these games, on any of these times, as you evolve through a season, any of these teams can beat each other. And that's the real world. That's what makes this thing so interesting. And you shouldn't have any gimmies on that schedule. If you're not getting in there about 500 in the NFL, you really need to also check your whole card, because it's set up for you to be 500 with the way we draft, the way we trade. The lower teams are always the first to get the best shot at the best players. The way this whole thing is set up from a structure standpoint, then the thing that changes that as much as anything, of course, is a lot of times teams get on quite a run. They get on a run with some good quarterbacking, and we've got good quarterbacking. But they get on a run with good quarterbacking, and they change up what parity normally is. I think I saw today where with Romo and with Dak Prescott, I think I may be off by 1, but we're either the 6th or 7th winningest team in all the NFL over their tenure, which is almost 20 years, to give you an idea of how close this thing is. Yet we're disappointed because we don't have a good record of appearance in the playoffs, which is really what it's all about. Nobody really does roll back and look at the fact that you're at the top of the league and winning percentages, winning games. That's not the way you look at it. You look at it on a season-by-season, playoff time of year by playoff time of year. That's as it should be. I love it. And consequently, you can have some teams that might not have had consistency throughout the years or that particular year, and that team can step up there and win that Super Bowl. It's a great league.
Jerry, you had said in years past that you were sick to your stomach that you didn't get Romo to a Super Bowl and get him a ring. We're, almost 10 years into Dak's career. Do you feel the same? Are you starting to feel the same way about Dak, that you're kind of wasting the time?
He's had we've had great quarterback play for 10 years, and we had it with Romo for 10 years. And the word wasn't a mistake. The word was it was unfortunate, because you were sitting there, and what happened during those spans is that you were the fifth, sixth winningest team in the NFL during those spans when they played there. Yet their playoff records are not in that category of when I say their playoff records, the Cowboys' playoff records, not theirs. It's not completely on their shoulders. But you realize a chance missed. I'm a big believer in getting up around the rim, and because of the ambiguity of availability, injuries, because of the very, if you will, the way the ball bounces. Like I said, we're fifth or sixth in all wins over that period of time, and yet at the same time, we're disappointed because we haven't smelled a Super Bowl. And that's frustrating. That's disappointing with Dak. We've had some outstanding teams, had him early, had him with Zeke, and have had some great offensive lines. Dak's been we've been very fortunate to have had the type of protections and running games that we've had generally during Dak's career. And that's great. That's really good stuff. And consequently, and we've also had days when we had trouble stopping the run during that time. And I'm not being facetious, but we have had.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, when we get down to these playoff games, the thing that usually is our Achilles heel is that we can't stop that run. And that's, believe it or not, that's what we're addressing, and what we've been trying to address with on our defensive front.
Jerry Jones, 105.3 The Fan. Jerry, the toughest question we have for you today is the number one topic amongst the fans, and that is the status of Matt Eberflus and his job. Why is Eberflus still the guy to get this defense going in the right direction, and what do you say to the fans who want him replaced?
He's been in that he's had tremendous experience. He's dealt with adversity with a long record, not only with us, but with his tenure at Chicago and Indianapolis. And he's had some great successes, had some very great successes, but he's had his tail kicked. That's who I want in the foxhole with me, because there's no such thing as having all the answers. And so when I jumped at it, when I saw we had a chance to get him, I still feel as strongly as I did the day we brought him in here. And these things that we're dealing with here are not one, two major things. There are a lot of little things that you can address and get right, and you can adjust the nuances of them. And, for instance, the other day, we couldn't stop the run, yet we were within a possession. If we drive that ball at the end of the game, we got a good chance to win it. We were up all day for the most part. And so there's a lot of ways to win football games, and Flus is dealing with nuances there that we can adjust and change. And you do adjust, and you do change, and there will be that. What's interesting is that the way the game panned out was very, very on point with the way that our coaches planned for the game to pan out. We just thought we could get more stops. We thought we could physically do a better job with them, and they were able to scheme us a little bit. That to their credit. But we were in that game close enough. What I think I don't want to take too long on this answer, but Carolina is easy to overlook as a formidable matchup with us. they match up right good against where we need the work. And so they were a tough opponent for us the other day. We almost pulled it off.
Jerry, a lot of stats are coming out kind of lining up this defense with some of the worst in the history of the franchise of Mike Nolan and Rob Ryan and Monty Kiffin. Is this defense giving you totally different vibes of what those were?
No, I remember all those defenses. If you look back, those coaches, Monty Kiffin's recognized as one of the best defensive coaches in football. And you can go on through those names, and you'll see them. They all had their days. I'm not going to name names, but you can keep going with really outstanding defensive coaches. Let me say this. Defensive coaching in the NFL, it is an all-day sucker because this league makes its rules, and this league pushes toward offense. And that's good. I love that. And I love the game because of that. But we push it toward the offense. And so it's quite a challenge. And usually if you execute a play and you block it right, you've got a good chance of moving that football, which they did the other day with their running game, of course. We thought that we could do a little better job in coverage, to say the least, and keep them from making a couple of those big throws they made. And we busted a couple of assignments, obviously. But the game plan was to understand they were going to run that football, and we just needed to do a good job at defending that pass, and then we needed to do a good job when we had the ball.
Jerry, you guys are playing one of the highest zone rates in coverage in football this year. And Greg Olson, who was on the call for Fox, said that it made the Cowboys too predictable on defense and that teams were taking advantage of that. What are your thoughts on the rate of zone coverage you're playing and the predictability of that?
That doesn't surprise me that he would assess that at all. And I agree. You look predictable when they're blowing you out. And that's, you can say zone, get over in man. We've got players that have had success in man. Man creates the big plays. Not the problem, but one of the problems is zone is supposed to eliminate big plays, and it's supposed to be slow them down on their eventual moving the football to some degree. That's not give up. That's a strategy. Well, but you can't have the really big-time play plus give it up on what's the philosophy of the zone. And that's what we've got to make some corrections on. And we are, and we will.
Jerry Jones joined us here, 105.3 The Fan. Jerry, Donovan Wilson has been getting beat up pretty bad, both on the field and by the fans, criticized for his play, especially in pass coverage. Is he being put in a position to succeed the way that he is being used?
Well, Donovan, like all players for the most part, has some things he does extraordinarily well. And the way he has played safety, particularly in the run game, and particularly with his aggressiveness, is one of the top careers of active players, I think. But like any player, you have things that you're better at than other things. And so then that's when you say, well, the coach can't put him in that position. Trust me, positioning of a player to use his skills the best is one of the premier focal points of any coach, and is our coaching too. And those are areas that you have to adjust. I don't mind telling you, one of the best tacklers we've ever had on this team, Hooker, at safety back there, has not been with us. That's a lot. That's been an issue for us there. Let me just talk about personnel a minute. Where we're our longest, where we're potentially our strongest, is pass rush, and we've got the most capable pass rushers that we've had, and we've got the ability to really rotate our players, which is very important in pass rush, because that's probably, you exert more energy there than any place else. And so there's ways that we can take our personnel. You speaking of him, there's ways we can take our personnel and address what happened to us Sunday.
Jerry Jones with us here on the Fan. Jerry, you have invested a lot of money in your corners, Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs. There's been obviously a lot of struggles there. Like you mentioned, big plays and a coverage that's not designed to allow big plays. Can you still get your return on the investment you made in your corners?
That's a good phrase, return on investment. And really, it's one that sounds pretty bright line, pretty factual. But what is that? Dig takes one interception. When he was all pro, he took 4 or 5 of those interceptions. Those are obviously turnovers. They had everything to do with us coming out on top. But when you do that, you take some risk. And a lot of times the ideal interception, the ideal defensive play is to cover and do your assigned area of responsibility. And then you step out, if you can, and make a play on the ball and get a turnover. Boy, what a mouthful, because it's rare when you can do all of those kinds of things. And so we're right now, across the board, we're not getting the turnover. We got one Sunday, and it really almost won the game. That difference right there was that one turnover. We were up 1, and that's probably why that thing was as close as it was. So where I'm going with this is we certainly want to have him in position to make some of those turnovers. He's so instinctive at playing the ball. He plays the ball like a receiver. And so when you do that, though, you can sometimes take some risks that can expose, not him, anybody gets exposed when they're taking some risk on a ball that is thrown within play. Now, a lot of times you get interception when that ball goes completely away from where it was intended to go, and a back can be in the right spot.
Jerry, y'all had mentioned when you made the Micah trade and you acquired Kenny Clark that he was brought in to help the run defense. Why is that part of the trade not worked out the way you wanted it to?
Well, but the trade was to help the run defense. There's no question about it. And actually, Kenny Clark is playing very, very well. Micah's part was to help the pass rush, I'm sure. And I don't want to even get into what Green Bay might have been thinking, but that was to help the pass rush. And, of course, the mighty, let's look at the results at the end of a period of time. What kind of difference does that make? Boy, I'm glad to have Kenny Clark now. He's played outstanding. We certainly might have had less run stop than we had without Kenny Clark. But as I look ahead here, as we go up against Washington, I'm glad we've got him in there for stopping the run. But I also am glad we've got him in there for our soundness on what we can do when we put some pressure on the quarterback. So bottom line is right now we have gotten the money's worth for Kenny Clark. To have Kenny Clark on this team, I am proud that we got him. And he's probably the first or second on grading on our team on defense.
Jerry Jones joined us here, 105 through the Fan. The offense has been very, very good this year. Dak's having a tremendous year. So knowing that the offense is that good and the problems that we have on defense, how untouchable are the Green Bay first-round picks they sent in terms of being able to get a player before the deadline?
Well, you're talking about the Parsons trade and the picks we got with those.
Yeah, are they untouchable to try to use to get a player at the deadline?
No, I've never. That's why I didn't understand your question, and I'm not criticizing the question. But there's nothing untouchable. Mm-hmm. if we can improve our team and it makes sense for what we give up in the future. All of it's there. And you're right in one respect. We've got major resources that we wouldn't have had we not made that trade. A lot of people don't realize that Kenny Clark makes upward of 24 million dollars this year. We only pay $2 of that. And so that created quite a availability for us that we wouldn't have had. And so all of that is no question about it. And I promise you, yours truly or anybody that's associated with the Cowboys has got our eyes really open in ways that we can help this defense. And certainly I don't want to preclude anything on offense either. But in answer to your question, there's nothing untouchable in our resources to help our team. And there's no way that I'm at a point right now to where I would not do something because of where we are into the season, 6 games. I would go as early as I would if we were talking 3 games back.
Jerry, one of the real positives out of Sunday was how well George Pickens played, and he's had a fantastic year to this point. When you guys traded for him, there was a decision, it appeared, to just have him play out the final year of his contract. Would you be open to picking up extension talks with George Pickens at this point?
We are always looking at what we can do to basically financially improve where we are. Now, you don't financially improve without getting what you paid for. That's a misnomer. You have to have the talent. You have to have the players. And I know you said, "Well, duh, that was assumed in the question." Well, the point is that we'll look carefully at what we're doing financially. Look carefully at what we do there with George. And I can't tell you how proud I am personally for George because he is absolutely as exciting as he's been on the field for us. He's been that kind of teammate, and he's inspirational. Our coaches enjoy coaching him. I won't speak for the players, but he is a great teammate in my mind. And, of course, when we got him, there was some issue with, there might be something with the way his personality. Well, I'll tell you this, I'll take that combination we got with him any day.
Jerry, how are you guys looking on the injury status of CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Booker, and Kevontae Turpin heading into this week?
Without being doctor here and without the benefit of a week of practice, seeing where they are, thumbs up on all. It's looking good, but that's just it. You've got to have that week of practice, which we haven't had. And when we have it, that'll be the report card. See how it goes this week.
And last one for you here, Jerry. With so many questions that have existed in the secondary, what is the status of Savone Ravel's rehab at this point?
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. He's everything we thought he would be. Getting to see him up close and personal and what kind of player, athlete he is, all upbeat. Obviously, he's coming in with no experience, but his status, to answer your question, is that in his rehab, he's done nothing but make everybody's eyes big. And looking forward to getting him out there. We'll have to, everybody remember who's making his first steps in the NFL as he gets out there. But, boy, he's got a great future.
Happy birthday once again. Thank you so much for the time this morning, and good luck.
Listen, I want to be doing with this program with you 15 years from now.
Yes.
You probably will be.
And see.